Let's go to Mark Regev, the senior advisor to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Mark, it's always good to have you, and thanks for taking the time. You no doubt have been hearing this pressure globally for Israel to commit to a ceasefire, and now the president's hearing it from members within his own party and even outside his party. Does that kind of talk, Mark, worry you?
So, Neil, it's important to distinguish between humanitarian pauses, which we have done and we are doing and will continue to do to ensure that humanitarian aid reaches people, to make sure that people can escape dangerous areas, that sort of thing we have been doing and we are doing. That's a specific timeout in a specific area for a specific time. But a general ceasefire to let up on Hamas, we've said we will only do that for the release of our hostages. Otherwise, we're going to, and that will be temporary. We are going to continue the campaign against Hamas, and let me explain why. Those people who believe in a ceasefire, maybe they don't understand, but it means Hamas remains in power. It means Gaza remains a terror enclave ruled by a brutal terrorist organization. That means we're just going to have more violence down the road. And so I can understand emotionally, some people think, oh, let's just stop the bloodshed. But it's a bandaid solution. It's not a real solution. It's a quick fix that just means a month from now, 4 months from now, a year from now, you're just going to have more massacres like we had on October 7th. And if you will allow me, I'll quote the Hamas leadership. They say, the Hamas leadership says, we will do it again and again and again. We can't let them do so.
No, they've been very clear about that. Let me ask you, though, Mark, much has been made of what you and your soldiers have discovered beneath this Al-Shifa hospital that looks like a Hamas military compound. They're down to showing not only the tunnels under that hospital, but a cache of weapons and the like, and yet showing people pretty much all over the world what was there. You're still having a devil of a time, as one news organization put it, proving it. Well, you did show it, so does that frustrate you?
In my line of work, it's not good to get frustrated, but we'll be showing more and more as the days go on. Yes, as we secure the area and it's possible to bring in cameras and to bring in journalists so they can see with their own eyes. And I have no doubt that we'll be showing more and more. But what confuses people, and maybe this needs to be explained, is you get all these people in the hospital, Palestinians, Gazans, who say, oh, we've never seen Hamas and we've got no information whatsoever about there being underground fortifications, yes? But people have to understand, Gaza is not a democracy. Gaza is ruled by this very brutal, authoritarian terrorist group, Hamas. And people who would speak out and say the truth and say, we actually know that Hamas has a military compound underneath the hospital, they would pay a price. They would face retribution, violent retribution. And so every time you hear someone around the hospital area, someone in Gaza saying, no, we've never seen Hamas here, you have to know that they can't say anything else. If they did say anything else, they'd be in serious trouble with their local authorities.
Let me ask you a little bit about maybe a dust-up within the Prime Minister's own party. Yair Lapid, an opposition leader, saying that Benjamin Netanyahu has to go. He's for a variety of reasons, just doesn't like the guy, thinks he's handled the war wrong and what led up to it. But he said it would still be a member of the Likud party, the Prime Minister's party, but not him. What do you think of that?
So we have a parliamentary democracy like in Britain, like in Germany. We don't have a presidential system like you have in the US. And the job of the leader of the opposition is to bring down the government. That's his constitutional responsibility in our system. But I think what is important to remember is that since this terrible October 7th massacre of our people, you've seen a sense of common purpose and unity in Israel like never before. And the truth is, not Mr. Lapid himself, but other major parties from the opposition have actually joined the government in this emergency wartime coalition because there's a sense that, look, the first thing we've got to do is we've got to defeat Hamas. We've got to get the hostages back. We've got to make sure that when this is over, that there's no longer a terror group running Gaza and that can inflict the sort of bloodshed on our people like they did on October 7th. So I think the feeling in the country now is we need victory. We need to win this. This is going to require a national effort. We need unity for that. Once that's all done, we can go back to politics than usual. But I think at the moment we have to concentrate on winning this war.
All right, he will be with me later on this show. But one of the things I noticed is that an impatience with the way Benjamin Netanyahu and this coalition government is handling the war. We're only 6 weeks into that and this whole thing. But does that part of it bother you? 6 weeks in and already someone saying this thing isn't working.
So I disagree. First of all, if this is going to be done properly and we are going to destroy Hamas and have a new reality in Gaza where it will no longer be ruled by this terrorist organization, that could require time. And I understand everyone wants this to be over quickly. Israelis would like it to be over quickly. That's the automatic response that most people feel. But no, it's more important that this is done properly. A very close friend of mine was recently at a home of an Israeli soldier who was killed in the fighting in Gaza. And we have, you make like a call upon the bereaved family. It's tradition. And he said to me the message was, get this done. We've lost some 50 soldiers in the ground operation in Gaza so far. We're going to lose more. But people understand this has to be done. We refuse, Neil, Israelis refuse to live next to a terror enclave any longer. We saw what that brings. It brought out the terrible massacre of October 7th. And as you said before, they will do it again and again and again unless we eliminate them. And we have to eliminate Hamas. But ultimately, it must be remembered, that's not just good for Israel. It doesn't just bring safety and security to the Israeli people. But that's ultimately also good for the people of Gaza, who deserve better than this authoritarian terrorist regime that has brought them nothing but hardship, misery, bloodshed, and poverty.
Mark Regev, thank you very much. Very strongly stated. The senior advisor to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Be safe, be well, Mark. Thank you again.
Thank you for having me.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.